Hello, everyone, and welcome back to... Wow, alright, I just got a bunch of things in a very short period of time right there. There we go, so I guess we're level 5 now. Welcome back to Boundless. So in the last part I was going over the tutorial part, and now we're going to continue on with the game and give you guys pointers on when you're first starting out this game on what the fuck that you should do. So, I can't access anything in there. I cannot. Will not work, because I need Chris, since he owns everything, to actually give me privileges over there. So what we're going to do instead is just work off of everything over here. And one of the first things that I do need to do is actually name the beacon. So we're going to go with what we were on before, and we're going to rename it Gondor, because why the fuck wouldn't we? And everybody should have full permissions on all of my alts. So, there we go. Protection status. We'll also make the beacon plot color a dark berry. Because why the hell wouldn't we, am I right? So, perfect. Now, one of the things I did with this character as well is I made sure that my other characters were able to give him everything that he needs to start out his journey. So there are 4 other metal crates in here for obvious storage. We have rocks, plenty of them. Yeah, there it is. Just all of this good stuff, really. So let me just fucking take it all right there. I think that is just a regular torch, because regular torches are obviously brighter than the basic. And that's really all that we have there. That's all she wrote. So, let me put down that workbench to begin, because we need to re-get all of our things back to where they were. Where the fuck is my bench? I thought I just grabbed it. Apparently I threw it back in there somehow. That doesn't even make sense. Thank you. Thank you for actually working with me, game. Fuck. Alrighty, so we have recipes in here that we should be able to make. So one of the first things is stones. These are obvious. You just get the rocks that you need. 1 turns into 2 stones. And this conversion is very important when you are able to do them mass, by the way, because you can just craft a fuckload of these across a bunch of benches and just get a ton of XP. So, just remember that one for the future, because you can go, I believe it's stones to refined stones to, I don't know, something else. I think decorative, and then you can just keep doing that cycle over and over and over again with all the stuff that you obtain. But one of the main things that you want to make to begin with is all of your benches when you are established at a home. So, one of the first ones is the workbench. Now, we're going to touch into the knowledge section of the menu, which is super useful now. It wasn't super useful once upon a time. So if you don't know how to obtain a thing, it doesn't show it there apparently, but well, let's just go ahead and type in tech. So this is where you go, just to go back here real quick, knowledge. You hit the tab button and you open up this menu, knowledge, and then you can search whatever the hell it is that you need. It also has them sorted out in all of these different things. Usually you'll be digging for, what is it? I think they're all under resources is all that stuff. So, back to where we were before, ancient tech remnants. So if you are ever in need of these and you don't know where to obtain them, get the fuck out of my way. What is your problem? You should be able to click on this, and it is not letting me for some reason. Wow. There we go. So, I don't know what the hell that was about, but that was a fun glitch. So, it tells you what it is used for down here and where to obtain them. So, ancient tech remnant seams and some meteorites. So, always comes from seams. These seams are in worlds level 1 to 6, always. Best in metal worlds, any altitude, any area. Once upon a time, they used to be found more often in icy biomes. I don't know if that is accurate, but anything like these tech remnants, this is where you find out where to get these. And this is important because you need all of these tech pieces to be able to advance all of the things that you need later on in the game. So remember this little feature in the knowledge to find out anything that you need for resources. It is so useful, I cannot even begin to tell you how useful it is to find these things. Like boulder towers, for example, tells you that you can find them easiest in burn worlds 5 to 6. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, this is invaluable, the knowledge resource. Also, the other thing that you will know, though you will need to know rather, to be able to continue on with your crafting is in your skills, actually, which is tool crafting, weapon crafting, and tech crafting. Now, I believe iron tech, copper tech. So, I lied at the time of the recording of this. What tech crafting is for are specific literal tools that you can make, like a spanner or a, they're called grapples. They're hooks that allow you to literally climb on the side of a mountain. They're super useful. You would have to experiment with them. I can't explain it all in right here, like how to use them or whatever the case is, but they're awesome. That's what they're for. They're just literal tools that you can make and use with your character, not actual blocks. I don't remember 100% what tech crafting is, but I think that's for specifically getting things like a spark core. And the spark core is used for basically getting energy to go through your house. You can wire things up and then you have access to other recipes. Then you have decoration crafting, purely, obviously, decorative. As well as machine crafting. This is the important one right here, because this tells you how to make your furnaces and all of that cool stuff. So, for good measure, let me just put 2 points into that. And what is forge crafting? Forge ingredients. We'll need to know that one later on down the line for this character, but not at the current moment. So, tech. We'll do tech and tool crafting. I don't really care about weapon crafting right now. It's really not that important. So, confirm selection. There we go. So, whatever we didn't have, we should have access to now. And you can actually learn about your recipes anyway for these things through, again, knowledge to know what your benches are. So, back to this. First thing you're going to want to do is make a workbench. So let's go ahead and do that. It's always going to craft 4 by default, and we will get to that in a moment when it finally crafts. But you want to make the workbench, and for a little while, for a long time rather, you were only able to make these storage blocks, which are weird because it's like a 2x2 block that you can throw things inside of. But now they actually have storage that is this, and glue is an easy thing to obtain, actually. If you can obtain... Do I have it in here? Yes. If you can obtain sap, which you get straight from literally harvesting wood from trees, then you can heat that up with a bone, which you get from killing monsters inside of a furnace, and that's what gives you glue. And we're going to get to the furnace in a minute here, because I think I need the workbench to make the furnace. No, I actually don't. I just need stones, which we're going to need to make a couple of those. So let's get on with that one, I suppose. 10 seconds at a time. How much is it to make 10? 50 seconds, so we'll need another minute to be able to do that. Son of a bitch. I only have 1 igneous rock. Ah, because all of them are sedimentary. Duh. Rocks. Did I picked up decorative, didn't I? Yeah. That's why I picked up... Yeah, alright, I'm an idiot. That's why I picked up not rocks, but decorative rocks for building a house, which we're not going to be doing right now. So, that is entirely on me. Let's just make 2 sets of those. But now we actually have our workbench. And remember that thing that I was saying a while ago about a lot of time with crafting, because it's just going to go up and up and up and up and up. Now the cool thing about these is that you can kind of place them willy-nilly however that you want. So you can do something like this, 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 and then one up there. And the whole entire thing is your workbench. So you can make these in towers or 2x2s or however the fuck that you want to build them, and it'll lay them out as needed. This will give us more recipes for better shit. This is one of the main things that will help you out the most with finding resources, by the way. Glass is exactly what you think it is. You get sand, you heat it up, you get glass. And then copper bars, just copper. You heat it up inside of the furnace that we're working on right now. That's all she wrote right there. This atlas, when you use it the first time, whatever planet that you will on, it'll start mapping it out for you. And when you have an atlas, you can actually insert anything like this pulsating orb, for example, these fibrous leaves, flints, anything like that, and you can just click on it while you're holding it and put it on the atlas, and it will tell you nodes and such where to find it. Now, it is not going to tell you the exact elevation, but you'll see dots. And this is one of the best ways to look for things like jewels. This is why, like, mining diamond in this game is significantly easier. So, atlases are incredibly incredibly useful. This is also where we have all of your other tools that you need. Extractors, mixers, centriforge, refinery, compactor. I recommend early on in the game you make all of your benches as you can. As early as you can. This is another easy one to make. The extractor. Mixers are also easy. The centriforge is going to require tech components, which will require you to get to higher level worlds. So will the refinery, and then the compactor as well. The spark generator is one of the first pain-in-the-butt things that you will obtain to make. Cogs are just made out of, I believe, copper. If not, then it's any base metal. And the spark generator it's pretty easy to get going when you know where to look for things. Again, it's just those tech components that'll be a pain in the butt, because you need to go to higher level worlds to get to them, and you need to survive those higher level worlds, which we will move to momentarily. This will allow you to make spark links, and then anything, usually coal is the best thing to throw in a spark generator. It will give you power to use inside of your tools. Now, things like this compactor, for example, requires 400 spark. Spark is power, which is thrown into the spark generator, thus used. The only other resource needed for crafting things in the game is power, which you need to make power coils for. And this is made from straight compact diamonds, so this will require you to get much more rare materials to be able to make. And luckily, that 100 power put into the workbench, that's it, really. You don't need to worry about, because you can do 100 power at a time, so like 1,500 or 15 of these work power coils, or you can do the bigger power coils. It'll give you, I think, 300 or 400 instead. But those are the first things I recommend that you work on. So now that I'm done talking through that, we have the stones that we need to make our furnace, which I can then talk about furnaces and how goddamn useful those are. I think we gotta wait even longer for these, but luckily not too long. And also, what's pretty cool in this game, as you've probably noticed right from here, this is purple, because we're using, obviously, purple stones to make it. And this will vary depending on whatever planet that you decide to fucking get stones from. I think it's a pretty neat feature, just a nice attention to detail. No, we gotta go back to the inventory here. So we will throw our forge right next door, and our forge crucible on top of said forge. And then we are good to go. This is now a stone furnace. Congratulations. So ideally, you would want to put all of your heat components up here, which would basically just be coal, and then whatever that you wanted to heat up in there. So again, we can do the sap and then a bone. Now let me go ahead and actually equip. I'm going to make a sling bow first, just because it's a little easier. Stone sling bows, sticks. We need more stones for it. 10 seconds. Yeah, we can make that real quick, so. 1, 2, and 4 sticks. One stone sling bow. Okay, and now we are ready for the hunt. So I'm going to just swap this out with the gardening tool. Now, one of the main things to keep in mind when you are hunting, you can basically just use an axe if you really wanted to go hunting. Especially early on, it doesn't really matter super much. But be noted, the damage factor on your weapon is entirely depicted by the tool itself and your character's power and their strength or whatever their masteries are to increase things like hammer damage. Those are the only things that really affect damage, and you can find a damage epic later on down the line. I think you need to be like level 8 or 10 or 12 or something to see it. And you can do a lot of damage, actually, with a gathering character off of that alone. The only reason why you would really want a sling bow is because there are better damage perks for sling bows and all of that stuff, on top of the fact that you have obvious range bonuses from using a sling bow. And then after you kill the damn thing, it takes a little bit of lag sometimes, and it'll piss you off, especially with wild stock that charge you down. You just hit it again, and then it'll explode into loot. Of course, we didn't get any fucking bones out of him. But had he dropped bones, then you'd be good to go. Also, while it's on my mind, because I'm looking at it right now, these plants right here, Desert Sword, are the easiest ways to get the fibrous leaves right here. I forget what the tool is that you need for it. I think they're extractors, but fibrous leaves can be turned into, not cotton cloth, sackcloth. And sackcloth, as you can see, is used to craft torches and all of these other tools in here. You need sackcloth for it, period. And it is made, yes, in an extractor. I don't have access to this extractor right now, and I can't really make it, so there's nothing more that I can tell you about that one. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to swap characters and start talking about travel and how that will benefit you to know everything that you need to about traveling, because there's not really anything else I can do on this character at the moment. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so now I am on my character that I use for monster slaying, which is appropriately named... Oh no, that is the Silent Deviant. I thought he was named Tankenstein. Well, that's usually what I go for with that. Anyway, so Tankenstein actually should have power bonus, but he does not. He just has like a ton of luck, and I think it's because I was using him to mine before, but we're going to... I'll keep these on. I don't need any of these resistances. We do have a damage epic, which is good. This is what I was talking about before. This triples all damage dealt. This is excruciatingly... This is a must-have and a need for any gathering character and any character that you have that is used for hunting. Because, again, it triples your fucking damage. That is just absolutely... It is needed. 100% needed. Now, just for all intensive purposes here, though, we're going to do full agility, just because why the hell wouldn't we? And I'll remove all my resistances, actually, because we are here to test something. So, without all of my perks on with this character, we are at basically the base level that we had with that other character, except he had a little bit more damage. And I think the only thing that this is giving me is... Does it give me a little bit of HP? I don't feel... Why do I feel like my HP is higher than it should be? It's not. Alright, we're good. But I wanted the agility just so that I can soar like a rocket down to where we need to go right now. Because what we're going to be doing is going all the way down to the glorious Aquatopian Embassy. Okay, here we are at the Aquatopian Embassy and the Portal Hub. So... This was about where my house was in that direction, and then you keep going here. Eventually, you will bump into this. This says Sunken Town above. All that cool stuff. This portal is the one that you are going to want to use. This is assuming that you guys start out on Beacon, by the way. I don't really recommend... I'd prefer if you guys didn't build around my house or anything, if you do, but... I suppose if you can, just kind of branch out a little bit is what my point is. But if you happen to be in this area... This is where you want to go. The Aquatopia Aquarius network is easily one of the best portal networks ever, aside from the Portal Seekers. You will find pretty much everything that you need here. And then eventually this leads right across the way to the Ultimate Network. Now this will pretty much bring you to any planet that you need to go to. This is where you want to be right now. The network, the Aquarius network. Essentially. If you can find a nice portal location to there, which you should be able to find something of that effect on whatever planet that you happen to be on at the starter. There should be a portal to Aquatopia, or to the Aquarius Network, or the Portal Seekers, which will tell you right here what every single planet is that you can teleport to. And you can find a list of all of these planets online, mind you, on, like, what they are, and it even says right above it, so Bitula, rugged, lush world. So this is I think Bitula is, yeah, tier 3 lush. Doesn't actually say, I think because rugged is the tier 3. But we'll go back over here. And I just want to demonstrate the difference between, like, a level 1 world trying to smack things around and dig shit up versus, like, a level 4. Didn't expect this to just have like a sharp decline and then off the side of the fucking mountain, but this does show you what I'm talking about. So that would be 6 smacks right there, and 3 of those were critical. Now if we take the same totem, and we go into, I don't know, Tier 4 world, why the fuck not? Now I believe the only Tier 4 world that we have on US East is, yeah, Sir Carpus. Which also has environmental protection on it. This is another thing that's really important. So, when you start hitting higher tier worlds, they will have things like a caustic atmosphere. This is also incredibly crucial to getting the right jewels later on in the game, as well as certain fragments. Now, let me go ahead and just Google these right now. Not these fragments. I forget what they are called, but let's just look up corrosive. No, it's not corrosive. Caustic? No. Let's remove, yeah, there we go. I cannot find the thing I am looking for. There we go, a caustic amalgam. So, a corrosion shard is what we're looking for here. So, starting in Worlds 3 and up, you will start seeing certain modifiers on enemies depending on whatever world that you're on, and this is how that affects them. When you defeat them, they can also drop a shard, which can be turned into an amalgam, which is used for crafting later on in the game. Also, like I said, there are jewels in the game, like, say, amethyst. Now, if we go to the Amethyst Seam, you can find it best on Corrosive Worlds, level 5 and 6. I remember Burst of Rona, for example, was a really good one for Amethyst. And again, just very important with jewels and where to be able to find them. So we need Caustic Atmosphere Protection to be able to not die going in there. It basically gives you like a breath icon if you missed that, and then if you run out of that, you start just taking damage over time. So, caustic protection. There we go. Perfect. So now we are protected from the elements. And here we go. So let me go ahead and fuck with this guy really quickly just so that you can see what he does. I can't actually hit him, but I'm going to move over to a stone. That does pretty much no damage to him. In fact, he has complete armor repel and murdered my ass, and this is with base level stats. So this is why you need to level your character up before you move on to higher tier planets. I actually didn't expect him to beat my ass that hard. So we're going to go back in here. Nope, not today, motherfucker. I think this is exactly where we were. Yeah, okay, this works. Now let's try actually putting on some stats onto our characters. So we'll get maybe 2 vitality, 2 power. Obviously the sling bow epic. So we have added sling bow damage, damage epic, and an HP bar epic. Just because it'll give us that much more of an advantage. So we shall commit these changes. And we already have a noticeably higher HP bar right there, which is very good. So my health only went up that little bit to 960. And it's only because I haven't actually buffed... Oh, that was a health regen epic, that's why. Well, we'll keep it on anyway. I do need a regular health epic, though, which is this. Thank you. The health epic is probably the most important, frankly. But while my regen is kicking in, because it's going to take a little while to restore that HP up to where it should be about, I'm going to run off in a direction and start smacking something on the ground so that you can see that difference in damage once again with stones. Okay, so here we go. We actually are in an area where I can damage the damn ground. We are only doing 60 damage to this soil, which if you can't tell is not a whole lot of damage to the goddamn soil. Now we could be using a shovel and having a much better time with it. But again, this still proves my point, and this is just the dirt. Now, if we move over to this, it's actually about the same. weirdly enough. However, if we move over to just an iron hammer, even, that's much better. Let alone the titanium, which damn near can destroy it in one hit, really. We're going to go back over to our little friend way down here, so I'll jump cut to that, and we're going to do a damage comparison now versus before. Hello, friendo. You beat my ass earlier, now I've come to beat your ass. So even that small amount of bonus right there, we can actually do noticeable damage to him. Now, if we actually move over to the weapon that I would use with this character, however, which is the titanium, it's in my offhand, right? Right. There we go. Stop it. Much more damage, 1,200 crits. And the other one was 890 damage. So you probably won't be having titanium when you hit tier 4 worlds, I'll be honest with you. You might be able to get titanium from tier 4, but the first time that you're going here, you're probably not going to have a titanium tool, so this is going to be quite fucking spiffy versus what you're used to having for damage. The base is 800. Now, the base for a stone is about 300. That's why the damage bonus was that much of a drastic change. So you'll probably have like a gold or a silver. You'll want that when you start hitting some of the higher tier worlds, which is, I think, 500 or 600, depending on like what's which one that you're using. One's slower and one's faster. And they, obviously, inversely are affected by damages. But it shouldn't be that drastic of a change from gold to titanium, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, because we don't have the stats really to reflect a significant change here in power. Now, if I had 6 more power, full up on, not luck, but the attributes bonus right here, as well as Slingbow Mastery up by 5 more, as well as maybe a couple of damage perks in here for a rapid fire or a charging damage, we would be in for a lot of fucking damage. And then let alone with that, this character Forge-A-Lot that I've been working on that I was mentioning before, you can actually set it up so that you can augment TNT Mega. I got lost, I'm sorry. This is not the area that I was in originally. You can actually set it up so that you can augment your weapons to have certain boons on them, like added damage or added durability and all of that fun stuff, so you can get a ton of different things and affixes on your weapon as well as other augments to make that weapon even better than the original base. I don't remember where the fuck that I came in here from. There it is, Ultimate Network. Okay, who is this thing? Perfect! So I got completely sidetracked right there on where the fuck that I needed to go. So that about covers everything that I wanted to go over with you guys. So essentially, get your links together so that you know where to go to for these portals. I highly recommend going to Beacon, or just to make sure that there's an area nearby you, a major city, that you can teleport to the Aquatopian Empire from. Like, this is in where? This is in Nia Zedka. I have no idea where this planet is. Airy, next to Feminorum. Oh, this is west, actually. This is US West. Because I believe Feminorum is in here, the US West Gateway. Am I correct on this? It is not US West, actually. So these aren't even US East. These are US East right here. Perfect. Yeah, okay. So I think this... Where even is this area right now? I'm so lost on what system that I'm in right now. My apologies, guys. So, yes, definitely get to the Aquatopian Empire and the Embassy so that you can teleport to these zones and just find a nice hub so that you can have access to all of the worlds that you need to go to. It will make your life significantly easier. Also, know the knowledge tab. This will save your ass on anything that you would need to know in the game. It even tells you like what level crafting skills that you need to be able to make the things, what they're made by, etc. It is just an invaluable tool to use to be able to understand the game. And finally, also, locations. If you guys can't tell, I have a number of these places already marked that I can just set as my location to go to when I get to these worlds, so I know where to go. And you can actually teleport to these areas when you're on the planet if you go back to the Sanctum and then build the portal. And it's only like 100 coins to teleport to these places, whereas it's 0 coins to teleport back home. So, always, always, always use locations. And if you click this right here, current location, you can add it to your locations list. So if you find an area that you want to keep and know so that you can pin it for later on down the line, there you go. You name it to whatever the hell that you want, and then there you go. You can even keep it temporarily so that you know where to backtrack to so you don't lose yourself in the game. But you can also, again, teleport yourself back to wherever that you designate as your home for your home beacon. So that's another thing that is also super important. And yes, like I said, craft all of your benches that you need early on so that you have access to all of your tools, and then have access to all the planets, and just, well, enjoy exploring and know that you can use this knowledge tab. And then in time, you will also be able to bump into people. Now, there should be a link on my older video that I made on Boundless, the one that was revisiting Boundless in 2019, that one. There should be a link that somebody put up that I had pinned and favorited on the comments section to the Discord. If not, then you can find the Discord very easily, either the Aquatopian Embassy Discord or the official Discord for Boundless if you want to find people to play with and talk in the community. I've already alone bumped into about 4 players randomly, even though you guys aren't seeing a whole lot going on. And they're also marked by red blips on your compass if there's anybody nearby, so this game seems incredibly empty, but there are people that are actively doing things. They're just probably not paying attention, or they're AFKing, and you kind of need to reach out to be able to see people and make your stake, or not make your stake, but set your footprint down in this virtual world to be able to hang out with other people. And again, I recommend that you get into this game with a buddy. I definitely recommend that you find an actual real-world person that you know and play with them as well, so that you have somebody reliable that you know that you can jump on with whenever, in and out. This is what me and Chris have been doing since we basically first started playing this game. So, on that note, I will end the video right here, guys. Feel free to ask if there's any more that you would like to know about the game as well. I will be making more videos in the future as I come up with ideas and things to do for myself before we actually go into the, before I make more videos. I need to find an actual point for the video first, otherwise I'm going to hate making the video is all. I just wanted to make sure that you guys had some kind of a grounding in case you were really thinking about getting into the game, but you didn't know where the fuck to start. Also, I made these a while ago and the lighting is completely off, but no matter, that's fine. At least they're growing and they're not disappearing now, and that is good. This is my farm that I just made recently. It is incredibly ugly on the top of the house, but it's supposed to be so that I can get a shitload of these plants going and make purified milk and butter out of it, essentially. It's to make like large amounts of milk to get into purified butter, which you use for pies, some of the best food items in the game to craft. Anyway, I'm going to cut the video, guys. Take it easy. I will see you later on. Ciao.